brilliant journalistic neutrality with your shirt, by the way.
It had a perfect twist in the end.
It's a twist, but they're not going to win.
You didn't get the twist.
He backed England all the way, and finally,
But
Belgium. Hello everyone, welcome to Gulf News coverage of Euro 2020. I am Shyam. With me is the Gulf News football pundits Matt Smith on my right, on my left is Imran Malik, and that is Shamseer. And we also have a very special guest, Sahil Sajan, who is an ardent football fan. So the first obvious question is who's going to win and why would any particular team win? I'll start with Sahil.
So I'm sure everyone is going to say that France are going to win. And I don't blame them for saying that. But from my opinion, I think Portugal have one of the best teams in this Euros. You know, they are the defending champions. And if you see in the 2016, they didn't have a match-winning team to win the Euros. But now you see this team. They got the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Cristiano Ronaldo at it, Bernardo Silva, João Felix is a man who may not even get a start. He's on their bench. You never know. So I think Portugal are the favourites to win this Euros, for sure.
Matt, what do you think? You agree with him?
To a certain extent, I think it's on paper it's an amazing team, but there's so many others to choose from. The France team, as you said, they could be favourites, but it's such a crazy tournament, given that you've got so many wide open groups, especially the group that Portugal are in alongside France and Germany. You know, it's just so odd. I mean, I think personally, I think Spain have got a massive chance. Number one, never back the defending champions. Spain are the only team that have broken that rule, and this team again is strong after they had a little bit in the wilderness, and they're just looking. They've just purged through all their friendlies and warm-up matches and got into this. They qualified with one
Spain
hand.
with Alvaro Morata up front is going to win the Euros.
And I would also like to add
Yeah.
Sergio Ramos is not there.
Sergio Ramos.
Sergio Ramos.
So, Shamsi, what do you think of his assessment of Spain? Spain, do you think really has a team to win?
Spain, if they are playing with Alvaro Morata, I don't think they have any chance because he scuffs a lot of chances. You have to give him like 10 chances to score one goal. So, to win a tournament, you need to have someone who is.
It's a
very
collective.
clinical.
You've got to have everybody firing on all cylinders to do it. And without Busquets there, and now Llorente missing as well,
Yeah.
COVID is going to play a huge part in Spain's Euro tournament. There could be more players about to miss out because of this virus. We don't know yet. They're being tested every single day. There could be a couple of guys, carrying it. And
Yeah, we'll come to that COVID thing a little later. Who do you think will win?
I'm wearing this for a particular reason. Obviously, England's my team, and I think they've got a superb chance. Got to the semi-finals of the World Cup, 2018. You should never tip your team, but with Kane, with that squad, with Southgate, what he's put together there, you've got the likes of Sterling, you've got Phil Foden, you've got Mason Mount, you've got Jack Grealish, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Rashford. You've got such a good squad there, but I'm not tipping them.
You can go on.
I'm going with Belgium.
Brilliant journalistic neutrality with your shirt, by the way.
It had a perfect twist in the end.
It's a twist, but they're not going to win.
You didn't get the twist.
He backed England all the way, and finally,
But
Belgium, because of that golden generation, you've got Kevin De Bruyne right there, you've got Lukaku, you've got Eden Hazard, who hasn't been playing very well, you've got Vertonghen. These guys aren't going to be around for too much longer, so this is probably their last chance
But
to do
don't
something.
you think Belgium's defense is a tad weak
The whole
compared
team,
to the other bigger teams?
they're not as good as they were. That swashbuckling team that we know from before, they're not like that at all.
Yeah.
But they've got enough there. They've got a very good manager in Martinez, who I think will be going to Tottenham as their new manager after the tournament. They're right there to do. They've got enough quality to pull the strings.
yeah,
and
but I
go.
agree with Sahil there because
And-
the defense is like you look at their aging defenders, so
A
it
lot
might
of
be
teams
slow
have this.
on the
The only thing about Belgium, they've got an easy group, and that should get them all the way through to the quarterfinals easily, or semi-finals up until. So they've got a pretty easy run.
All right,
around the
now
tournament.
let me just rewind what Imran said. He backed England all the way before he picked Belgium. What do you think? If you look at Gareth Southgate is heavily reliant on Harry Maguire, and Harry Maguire is not going to be available for half the tournament.
He's not going
Then
to play.
Jordan Henderson is again iffy thing. So how do you think?
What England fans in England thinks that Harry Maguire is the solution.
But
for all
remember
the
that for
problems they have.
55 years, every Englishman thinks that they're going to win the next tournament.
Every big tournament they come with a pretty good squad with brilliant individual players, but they never played as a team. But this team has got some brilliant young players like Foden and Mason Mounts. They can link up well. But if they play someone like Jack Grealish, who has got that
Creative streak in him.
explosiveness and that unpredictability in him. If they play him, but I haven't seen Gareth Southgate picking him up.
He's
No,
been out injured for a
no,
while.
his current plans or his strategy doesn't involve Grealish in it.
Yeah, but he is one player they should be involving him. And England, I think, like all the time, they're gonna.
Choke in the
I
end.
think they might
It's
revert
the
to
same.
form, and obviously this will be a man you'll have an interest in. Is I think it'll be Kane and Rashford,
Yeah.
and that might be their downfall again because they'll be frightened to play this creativity that other teams don't have.
But there's another thing, that this has been a long season with COVID hit and everything, and it's all about tired players.
This is a fact.
Tired players and tired minds,
Yeah.
and I don't know how they're going to pan out. It's
You
gonna
know,
be-
the only doubt I have about England is not with the players, it's with Southgate. As a manager, I wouldn't take him at club level at all. I
Yeah.
don't think he's that good at all.
it was in Middlesbrough.
Yeah, he's been in the
Crystal
mid-range
Palace.
clubs and Palace and never really done
Do,
anything
do
there.
we have an Imran England fan scale here? Because they're going to win. Oh no, but they're useless. They're going to
I
win.
want to go to that Harry Maguire point.
I'm so
about Harry
conflicted.
Maguire.
Yeah.
You know, the big man Gary Neville said
Yeah.
that he is a bigger loss than how Harry Kane is, because the balance just goes away. I personally, I don't like any of England's centre backs other than Harry Maguire, and John Stones in international level has not been at his best. Yes, he had a decent 2018 World Cup, but I'm sure you've seen that he has
He's
goofed up
shaky.
many times.
For Man City,
Yeah,
he's always got a
completely.
mistake in
Yeah.
him.
Yes, what he says make complete sense simply because Southgate's plans are hinges on Maguire, because that will decide his midfield, and that midfield will decide whether Foden or Grealish will play, or whether Sterling and Rashford will play. So this is a huge question mark for them, and that is going to be there for 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah,
Now,
it's gonna-
before we go further, whom do you think will win?
It's everyone's favorites basically. It's France because their B team or reserves can win the tournament, and some of the players that
Yeah, that's something we know. I mean, okay,
Some of
all
the
of
players
us
they have
know
left
what.
out could get into any of the teams in the championship.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's that good. But apart from that, I really think this is the time for Italy to do the renaissance.
Ooh,
because,
Italy.
yeah, well, the Roberto
Dark horse.
Mancini's Italy has been pretty good, and ever since he has taken over the job,
Yeah.
since 2018, they haven't lost a single game, and they have got a perfect blend of youth and experience. Especially, we have seen how the Italians have been. The Azzurris have been always been cynical, a difficult team to beat. But they have changed a lot under Mancini. They're more possession based. They play the 4-3-3 system. They have Bonucci's and Chiellini's at the back who are rock solid. Then they have someone like Barella's and Locatelli's, Pellegrini's in the midfield along with Jorginho.
Immobile
And it's
up
going to
front.
be a brilliant team.
And when
The
you look
only
at-
problem there.
You agree with his
up front.
Zuri assessment?
No, I agree with that. And also, if you look at the form that they're bringing into the tournament, they've had 8 games, consecutive wins, and no goals conceded.
Exactly.
So that's tremendous form
That's
coming
like-
into
that's
the
like the
tournament.
And
Italy
they'll
of
be
old.
eager to prove because
Exactly.
they missed out on the
It's
World
like
1-0
Cup.
to the Italians.
All right.
They
Yeah.
missed out on the World
Okay,
Cup, so they
here
can't-
is what we have. Here you have Portugal, here you have Belgium, here you have Italy, and you picked.
Well, it's kind of. I was.
Scotland.
I was. Okay, there's one for the bloopers reel. No, the one thing I wanted to say was that I do like and I do fancy Spain because I think they've got everything. And we are good all round. No one's mentioned Germany, by the way.
Yeah.
In fact, I am backing Germany solely on the fact. I know they had a bad World Cup and the following even the Nations Cup.
They have
league,
Timo
and
Werner
It's
up
been
front.
pretty bad, but if you look at the qualification, it's been a little bit of encouraging. But what actually why I believe they could do it is simply because if you look at history, they have always come back from the dumps. Even when Joachim Löw took, they were in the dumps. Look where he took them. Even the immediate Euro, we had a huge impact. You had several players coming through, like Neuer coming through. So did the several other players, including say Thomas Müller, and a whole lot of players came through in that particular Euro. So I think this Euro also you might see some new players breaking through, and also you have to remember this is Joachim Löw's last tournament.
Yeah.
And it takes a brave man to bet against Germany
Yes.
anyway. The
So-
mentality is always there
Yes.
for every major tournament.
So-
They know how to get to the semi-final. They've
com-
always known this.
And
I
they-
completely never write a German team off.
Yeah, I mean, Mueller's back in the team now after 2 years, and he scored the other
He
night.
scored, didn't he? Yeah.
And but also you've got your Gundogan's, your Kimmich's, and
Rudiger at the back.
midfield.
Yeah.
and
They've got a
Matt-
strong
Matt-
team in Germany.
But
Leroy Manny. I mean,
Their
there's
strength.
so many.
Yeah, yeah.
I believe their strength and weakness is both Joachim Löw. because he doesn't know his strongest 11 even now. Because I've seen him winning the World Cup and everything, but now he's a confused man. He's in dilemma. He doesn't know who is his first 11.
No, he
Because
could gamble as well. Like
yeah, he asked
Yeah.
Thomas Müller and Hummels to retire,
Yeah.
like force it. It was kind of a forced retirement,
Yeah.
and now he has pulled them back.
brought them back.
It's like
He
I
doesn't
don't know
know.
what
You're
is he
right.
thinking,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. That's
there's a
good
bit of
point.
confusion there. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. That
He
doesn't
could be
really
the
work.
reason why they don't actually go all the way.
Yeah.
And because he's actually leaving at the end of this, does he even care that much anymore?
Yeah,
You'll
Someone
want to
else
you'll want to
coming
go out
in.
in a high.
Okay, let's we have picked our own teams. Now let's go to the next thing. This is something special about this Euro is it's played in 11 countries. Never before has it been done. Which means you enjoy home matches. For some teams, they get to play at home matches. So that could be an additional factor. So how do you think it will go?
I'd like to jump in straight away because again, my tip England are playing all the games at Wembley Stadium.
Yeah.
So that there's no travel for them. There's none of that extra stress. All the games are there. The semi-final and the finals being played there as well. So if they get through to the group stages, get past the round of 16, suddenly it becomes a very straightforward opportunity to get
that's a
through.
nice point because if England finish
And-
second, they could go have a good draw in round of 16,
Yeah.
and they could have a good run into the
And
final.
also, Sham, there's going to be 20,000 fans allowed back into Wembley
Yeah.
for the tournament.
Yes.
That's going to be a
Huge
huge.
advantage. And England
Yeah.
barely lose at Wembley.
But,
I have seen that.
But I have to jump in and say one thing. England's talisman is Harry Kane.
Yeah,
He's a Spurs guy.
yeah.
He doesn't like to play in Wembley. He always loses. in
That's
Wembley.
a very interesting fact there.
Yeah, that's a good fact.
It's a
Really?
funny fact. It's interesting and
Because
funny.
they
to
played
think about.
Tottenham played their
And the
games
team-
there a lot.
And
Yeah.
ironically, it's just up the road
It's
from,
just
from
nearby,
White Hart
yeah,
Lane.
throwing distance.
Okay,
It's major
let's
cup finals I'm talking about.
see. It's not just England who is enjoying the home advantage. Even
Yeah.
Italy does that, right?
Yeah, I was about to say,
Yeah, they have been.
Italy's, they opened the whole competition against Turkey on Friday in Rome.
Rome.
Yeah.
And then they have got a much easier group than the likes of France and Germany because they've got Turkey, Switzerland and Wales. No
Mind
offence
you, that
to
is
Wales.
actually not an easy group.
It's not easy,
That is a
but we're
good
going to
group.
say Italy topping that.
Yeah.
And if they
Yeah.
top that group, that means that their next game should be at home as well.
Oh, okay.
That's interesting,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
And that means they're going to be playing, let's say, Belgium win. That means they could be up against Finland, Denmark, or Russia.
Yeah.
And now there's an easy path.
That is.
So,
There's some
and-
teams that
and
actually
that
got it
also
quite
gives a
easy.
lot of home advantage as well.
In between, Imran, you brought up the virus factor. Now you said that Hugo Llorente is affected.
Yes.
Sergio Busquets
Oh,
is down.
what a huge.
How do you think it will affect the tournament? Because we have seen this
Oh,
happen with
gosh.
IPL, which
Yes, well, that's the biggest fear. We don't want this. It's a month-long tournament. We want it to go ahead all the way through. We don't want any stoppages. If it does, it probably won't be finished. So hopefully
Yeah.
there's no
Both
more
are
cases.
huge losses, massive losses.
Those are huge losses for Spain, and in particular, I mean, these guys are being tested every single day. And it doesn't mean, Shyam, I mean, you could probably jump in about the virus, how it develops, but within 2 or 3 days, it may not be detected.
Yeah.
In a few days' time, it can be detected, and that could actually wipe out the entire Spanish team.
yeah, because the problem there is if they're in the training camp, I mean, it could affect other players as well.
Yeah.
One
Yeah,
test,
you
one
can be
case.
carrying, not know it,
Yes.
and then all of a sudden 6
And
guys
so
have it.
the stats
Yeah.
say that one person can infect 3.5 people. So which means
Oh.
like squad could be down in a matter of days, really.
Exactly.
So that is a huge question mark on the tournament, and I hope it doesn't happen the way the IPL went because we don't want this tournament.
Oh,
to end.
gosh.
We
And this-
absolutely don't want the tournament to be
Yes,
off because
we have had enough delays, so I
I don't think it should because it's played in different countries, so
Yeah.
it should carry on.
Yes.
especially
Definitely
during
should.
these difficult times,
Yeah.
a sport like football brings a smile on people's
Exactly.
faces.
Yeah.
We need
You
the
don't
sport
want
to
that
come
to be
back.
halted.
Okay, that is about virus
Unless you're Scotland fan.
players missing with virus. Also look at, I know some time ago Sahil said that Ramos is missing. So is Van Dijk, isn't it? So we have who are the other major players who will miss out on this tournament?
Zlatan from Sweden.
Yes.
Yeah.
What a
That's
huge
it.
miss. I
Yes.
mean, that's a guy.
I'm fairly certain that Maguire will not play as well. I think he's too crocked.
I mean, the funny thing with Southgate's, again, going back to England, we don't want to dwell on them too much, but they've got 4 right backs in that squad as well. So one of them is going to have to actually cover centre back position. Ben Godfrey probably can do that.
Oh, yeah.
He's quite versatile. He's a
Yeah.
very good player. But again, missing from Sweden, who I thought would have had a decent tournament. Zlatan's not
Oh,
there.
yeah.
So
Oh,
you
yeah.
really don't
Even-
see them doing
Yeah,
anything.
no, not
Similarly for Netherlands, without Van Dijk being
Oh,
there.
and
Donny van der Beek also ruled out.
Van der Beek,
Yes,
so,
yeah.
It was
Oh.
really
He's
tough.
also-
And yesterday, Karim Benzema had got a knock. We
Yeah.
don't know how
Yeah.
the severity of
So
it
is isn't Kevin De Bruyne carrying one?
Yeah,
He's
he
got a
has to play
fracture.
with
Yeah,
one
he got a fractured eye socket in the final against Chelsea.
Yeah, he got a kick from
Yeah,
a
I
guy
saw
who
that.
was wearing a mask, and he actually given that mask to someone else now. Like he has given the
Yeah, that
mask
is the
to
Champions
De Bruyne
League
now.
final. Yes, I saw that. We'll miss a lot of stalwarts, which is a shame, really.
Yeah.
And okay, and normally if you see in every big tournament, you see some players breaking through. So any picks for a breakout player this year? One could be Pedri of Spain, another one is Ferran Torres.
Ferran Torres, he's a man he has not played a lot for Man City this season, but that man has scored a hat-trick against Germany. I'll never forget that hat-trick when they beat Germany 6-0. So as you mentioned, Ferran Torres, I think he's a breakout player. So a lot will be dependent on him for Spain.
Staying with City, there are three guys there that I think are going to have a major impact in this tournament. One is Phil Foden.
Absolutely.
I think he's going to be the Gascoigne of the future, not just his haircut.
With the
But also you're going to have Cancelo,
Yeah.
and the other one is Zinchenko, who's going to put there for Ukraine, who has just gone through the roof in talent.
He's going to play in midfield for Ukraine.
I would like to add one more ex-Man City player, Jadon Sancho.
Yeah.
If he gets a start,
Okay.
I think he can make a difference also, because England's squad depth is also pretty good, but I'm not sure if Jadon Sancho will get a start.
Good.
But he could be a breakout player.
All right.
For me,
Anybody from Italy?
Yeah, for me, when you look beyond the goals, the heart of the midfield, that's what I love. In football pitch, I love the midfield. And I think Nicola Barella, the guy who has won the Italian Serie A with Inter Milan, he is going to be one player to watch out. He has got the engine to be a box-to-box midfielder. He's a brilliant guy. So you just watch out on
And with
Nicola
the likes
Barella.
of Pellegrini in that midfield,
Pellegrini.
plenty of energy in that midfield for
But for me, it's
Italy.
Nicola Barella. Just watch out.
And what would be your pick?
We've mentioned him already. I think Phil Foden, he's been voted the young player of the year from the achievements from last season. He's so good on the ball. He goes past players. He drifts past everybody. He can put a dangerous cross in. He can score. He's going to be so important to our England doing the tournament.
All right. And Guardiola went as much as telling that he could be the next Iniesta, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So that is Phil Foden. I agree with you guys on the Phil Foden factor.
There is certain N'Golo Kante which we haven't discussed about, yeah?
Oh, what a player.
Yeah, that's
Star,
because he's a
man.
Chelsea player, isn't
But
it?
he's not a breakout player, we know him.
Yeah,
But he's like three players in one,
He's
so
a
it's
star
unfair.
player.
See, that's for one reason why the France are favourites, it's because of N'Golo Kante.
Definitely.
Yeah, but
That
you have
midfield.
Pogba also
But
there.
you have so many
Pogba's,
explosive players,
Pogba's mentality is my only doubt for France.
The thing about
going to do
the thing
as
about Pogba is he plays well when the team's playing well.
Yeah.
If that team is struggling, even during a match, he will disappear out of the match.
But he seems to have done more for France more than
Yes,
United,
much
right?
better
Yeah.
because there's a
Because-
higher quality on that pitch,
That's
and he
right.
thrives among players. He can't carry a team like say a Steven Gerrard or somebody
Yeah.
used to do at
True,
Liverpool.
true.
He needs that quality around him for him to thrive, to concentrate on himself and not worry about
he
being
has
the best
got-
talent.
He has got someone in N'Golo Kante who does the dirty work.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do only the dirty work. He disrupts the play and he brings the attack into the play.
That acceleration.
The acceleration, everything, See, he makes the life easier for his teammates and makes it very difficult for his opponents.
Yeah.
So N'Golo Kante has to be. If he wins, if France wins the tournament, I would go for N'Golo Kante as a Ballon d'Or guy. Ballon d'Or for N'Golo.
Okay, who will win the Golden Boot?
Ooh, good question.
That's a good
There's a
question.
lot of standout
I want to say
forwards
Timo
in-
Werner.
McGinn.
Oh, that's a good question,
Yeah.
actually.
McGinn
The
from
one thing,
Scotland.
the one thing we
That-
talk about.
Because it doesn't have to be from the winning team.
Well,
isn't it?
there's a few guys that are right at the end of their international careers that obviously are going to have that added incentive. Who've got Thomas Müller, who's
Yeah.
got a bag of goals for Germany.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Lewandowski,
Oh.
who's
Oh.
still breaking records
Yes,
for Poland.
yes, he's-
But will Poland get far enough for him to get the golden boot?
3 games
Yeah,
maximum.
that is true.
And then you've got a certain boy that plays for Portugal, who's going after the all-time scoring record of Ali
They
Dai.
suddenly see Ronaldo, right?
That man is
Ronaldo,
crazy.
CR7,
Yeah.
he's 6 away from equaling the all-time goal-scoring record.
Ali
And that
Dai.
boy is a one-man ego trip. He will want that record.
He's not a boy anymore.
Yeah.
No, but
He's
Shamseer
36.
Mohammed-
36.
He's an old man.
He's
He's
36.
but does he look 36? Does he play like 36?
Yeah.
No,
he does,
he's
doesn't.
like 26
No,
still.
he's kept himself very well.
Really well. What an athlete. He really
It's
is.
true.
I think
One
Harry
of those-
Kane
yeah.
is going to be the golden boot. He
Yeah.
did it in the World Cup 2018. And with that team he's got, and also he's going to be taking all the penalties, all the free kicks around the box.
Oh,
Yeah.
And we know England are good at winning penalties, so let's not deny that.
Yeah, he's my shout for golden boot.
If you're talking about penalties, there's one man that would win the golden boot, and that's Bruno Fernandes. But the
Bruno,
Belgians
but I
are
don't
going to
think
get
he'll
as
be
many
doing it.
goals.
He doesn't score anything else. He's just.
There's going to be a risk in Portugal for that. They'll have a riot in Portugal for that because they have Cristiano Ronaldo, they have Bruno Fernandes to take the penalties. They have to decide
We've got
between
too
them.
many.
I think definitely Ronaldo will get the no.
For me, I think it's
For this
gonna be,
tournament, yeah,
it's gonna
to get
be
that record.
Romelu Lukaku for the.
Yeah, good
for-
shout.
Yeah.
Another
If-
man at
if
the end
Belgium
getting
Yeah,
older.
towards the end.
If Belgium progresses in the tournament, Lukaku is gonna
If
smash.
that
it.
service
Yeah.
comes to him, why not?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
De Bruyne will just lay it on a plate for him.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Another shout from me is Immobile.
Italy.
Italy.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's sponsored by Italy today.
He's been plugging for all the Italian players. Yeah.
And N'Golo Kante, obviously.
All of you have watched the EPL, and I'm sure you are all unhappy with VAR. So, how will VAR? Will there be a VAR issue in the Euros?
It's gonna be war.
To be honest, the 2018 World Cup was actually fun because of VAR. So I actually enjoyed it. So
You like VAR?
Really?
It was actually made it more fun the 2018 World Cup. I'm going to be honest.
You don't think it spoils the game?
It
slows
definitely
the game
spoils the
down?
game, but it makes the game also interesting if you
Cool.
say.
I
that's
don't know.
a-
VAR.
I know.
is
I
That's
think
a
it's very
different sound.
disruptive.
Yeah.
If I actually enjoyed it in the World Cup, I don't like it in the Premier League, but in the World Cup it was pretty fun.
You know why I enjoy Brazil or a Dutch team plays because the free flowing
Free
game.
flow,
yeah.
The game. But if with VAR there's no free flowing. It's just
No,
going to be
it's
disrupting.
And that's one thing when the goal celebrations are cut off. That is
Yes.
the most sad
That's-
thing.
that's
to
what
see.
we are
Absolutely.
This I will admit, definitely
Yeah.
it's sad.
They-
They're being ruled off for millimeters as well. I mean,
Yeah.
for the most ridiculous
The,
of
the
things.
geometrical lines that they draw
Oh.
is absolutely ridiculous.
They-
No sense at all.
And also,
No.
they've had it for years now. The technology is still causing more arguments and
Yeah.
uncertainties than it is. It was brought in to solve all these problems, and
And
it's made things
and it's taking the
even
fun out of the
grayer,
game.
shall we say?
True, absolutely. I think also the fact is that even the interpretation changes from official
Exactly.
to official.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
Especially from league to league. You
Yes.
see, like in places like Germany, they've got it pretty well done. You know,
Yeah.
the guys will always go to the monitor. The referee has the right to overrule.
Hmm.
He uses. They're just an assistant referee, like the guy on the touchline.
yeah, that
He can
makes a lot
say,
more sense, really.
It's my call, but he will go into the screen and make his own judgment.
Or maybe it's
whereas
not-
in England, they just don't use the
Exactly.
touchline screens at all.
And the worst thing is, look, football's a game about emotions. What you're doing with VAR is you're taking them all away. If someone scores a goal, he's hesitant to celebrate because he's waiting for
That's
it.
exactly the points I was
Yeah.
saying.
Exactly. So I mean,
Yeah,
as
that
a
was
fan, to
celebration.
watch such a thing,
That
it's not
knocks
been a
onto the
spectacle anymore.
fans, and the whole thing becomes
The whole
flat.
thing becomes flat, and it
Or
works
maybe-
for tennis,
maybe-
it works for cricket, but it doesn't work for a game like football.
Maybe it's not technology at fault. Maybe the people that are using the technology. Maybe I don't know.
Some
It could
judgments
could be
need
the
to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
counter
yeah,
argument for
yeah.
that.
Shamseer, could be, yeah. I mean, you got if they had ex-players, for example, refereeing games, working the VAR. I mean, they've got far more knowledge than a referee, you know, who
Oh,
has
yeah.
never played the game before,
Mm.
making a decision that doesn't make any sense at all.
Definitely.
So absolutely, the technology could be good, but the way it's being implemented
There's-
could be the problem.
There's
Yeah.
something I'm
Some
not
of the
quite
handball
sure about.
decisions.
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
there's something I'm not quite sure about. Are the guys in the VAR box? We know that they're all referees and assistant referees as well. Are they going to be representing all the nations, as the referees will be? You know, are you going to have like fairly inexperienced North Macedonian guy making a vital decision on a penalty in the VAR box?
That's a good point.
That's a good
No,
point.
I think there will be a mix of nationalities there, so that we absolutely
Definitely, the
neutral.
most experienced ones will go everywhere.
But they have to
It'll
be
spread it out.
still have to keep the neutrality as you do on the pitch.
Yes,
You know?
absolutely.
So they have to keep all Scotland referees.
All right.
Well,
now,
we won't be in the tournament, so it's fine. we'll be
You're
we'll
one
be
more
out.
dark
myself.
horse.
What?
Scotland to be third and to qualify.
Oh
this
my
is
God.
this is about who are the dark horses? I mean, we discussed the favorites. Who could be the dark
Can I
horses?
say Wales again?
No.
Really?
Last Euros they were good. They came in the semi.
They
Are
came
you
to the
serious?
It
That's a
depends
good
on
dark horse.
depends on Gareth.
I would
Yeah,
say
Gareth, and he's
I
got
would
a
pick
point.
somebody like some team like maybe Turkey could be a dark horse.
I was- that's my dark
Very
horse.
good. They have a
Yeah,
fantastic
yes,
centre
yes,
backs.
yes.
Those two.
Oh,
Centre
their
backs
defense
and
is so good.
Yes.
And if you look at the striker, Yilmaz he's
Oh.
the second highest score behind the legend Hassan Suko with 28.
Yeah.
Okay, he's 35, 36, but he's a very good. And Silic on the right back, the marauding right back. Man United apparently trying to sign him. He's going to be supplying all the crosses and all the attacking play from there. So Turkey,
And they have-
I think Turkey to beat Italy in the first game.
Really?
I
They
think
have
so.
Soyuncu at the heart of the
Good.
defense.
He's a very good player.
And
Very
very
good.
Demaral.
He's got the
Very
same
good.
same hairstyle as you, so you're true.
What about last World Cup finalist Croatia? Are they a dark horse?
Oh, Croatia
I
is
even talked about
Croatia because you don't have Rakitic around. You have Mandzukic is not there. and you-
Modric is not the man he was.
Yeah,
He's
and,
35, yeah.
No, he's not in the team. Mandzukic is not in the team. I think.
Hey, but look out for Vlasic.
Modric is in the
Very
team.
good
Yeah,
player.
no, but
Rebic is good.
the
Yeah.
Modric is still there. But the thing is, the younger guys have to step up to
But that's
Yeah.
that's in the unknowns. But
Yeah.
if you don't give them the chance, they
Harris
don't
is
get
there,
to
Harris is
shine.
Yeah,
you
that,
know.
Yeah,
that's
he's still
yes.
there.
Croatia
What do
stunned
you
everybody
see?
in '96, didn't it?
Yeah,
I wanted to
yeah.
pick Italy
For
as
Croatia too.
I wanted to pick Italy as the dark horse, but I have
What, you picked them
I have
as the
chosen them as the favorites for the tournament.
Favourites
so I
and
can't
dark
pick them
horse.
against them. So I'm going to go with Denmark.
Denmark?
Denmark, with them having the easy route to the quarterfinals at least.
Yeah, but-
They won't be playing a big team until the quarterfinals.
But do they have the team to go
They
all the
have-
way?
they have-
Christian Eriksen
They
can
have,
carry them.
they have Christian
Well, they-
Eriksen, they
Oh.
have Poulsen, they have someone called Skoff who played brilliant at Hoffenheim. You know, they have got Simon Jair
Yeah.
defense. They've got
And they're both-
Højbjerg.
Hoiberg, what
Yeah.
a superb
Yeah.
season he's had
They've
for
got a
Tottenham.
good team. As a collective unit, they're pretty decent.
I can see them doing a Greece, what they did back in
Ah,
2004.
No, we don't want a
they
repeat
did-
of that.
I
That
can
is
see them
the
doing-
most hated
The,
of
man,
Europe.
the,
They
man,
can do
the,
it,
the
they
team
mark.
that made Ronaldo cry
I
the
can
first
see
time.
them.
Yeah.
I can see them doing such a
But
thing.
they
Dark
got-
The
horse.
other thing
dark
is that
horse.
Denmark have got previous. Remember, they got in 92
92.
on a technicality.
Yeah.
And then they
Oh,
went
yeah.
on. Oh, they hadn't even qualified, but they got in because
Exactly.
the
They got
now
knocked
defunct
out.
Yugoslavia
They
were
can do the
taken out,
Denmark.
Jensen was
and
the
they
winner.
went all the way to win it.
That
Arsenal
is the
player.
Laudrup brothers there, right? My Laudrup brothers were there, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
They were not even qualified.
Okay,
for that
yes,
time.
but
here are the dark horses. The Wales?
And they have got a
Just said Wales
That's a
because
good
it's
one.
Paris.
Fine. I mean, we're just looking across the world.
I'm
I mean.
just gonna say Wales.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fine.
They've got
And
smiley
you-
with
Turkey.
Turkey, so is mine, is Turkey, and you.
Scotland. Let's get on to
Hey.
it. Yeah, come on.
Let's be serious.
Denmark.
Denmark. All right. Okay. Now let's get back to the what is it? July 11th final.
July 11 final.
Who will meet in Wembley?
The final. Gosh.
There's a lot of technicalities of who meets before.
Yeah,
but
we need to look on.
Your
You look at
predictions.
it.
Your predictions. Who will meet whom?
on paper, of the best two teams, I think it will be a Portugal-England final.
Yeah.
On paper.
Portugal, England first. Sahil, you're England
I
man.
hope that happens. That's what I hope.
So you have two guys on a Portugal England final. They can't be serious, Imran, are they?
Well, I mean, you look at them. I wouldn't say no to that either. But I can still see Belgium getting there. Not playing the best football, but just getting there. Workman-like team now. Get to the final. Like you say, Shyam, never underwrite the Germans. I mean, they know how to get to a final. But I think Belgium-Portugal final would be very interesting. That'll be a good game of football.
That
That
could be
could,
good.
that could be a good game.
Yes. And what about you, Shamseer?
I haven't seen the permutations and all who can go through, but on paper, like France versus Italy could be the finals. France versus
France,
Italy.
yeah.
But with the staggering squad strength of Portugal, England, Belgium, you know,
They're all
anyone
strong.
can understand. But I hope it's not going to be a boring tournament. Like
No, it is not gonna be. That must.
I hope it's like the 18
Yeah,
World Cup.
true.
Because all that-
Yeah.
World Cup.
Yeah.
Sick.
You know what? I think if England get through the round of 16, they could be in the final. That's what they're saying that they.
I said the same in the 2018
Yes.
World Cup. but
If
they
they
lost.
if they do it, you could end up with a France England final really.
Oof,
Yeah,
what a game.
that would be a cracker, isn't
Will
it?
Tyrone Mings handle Kylian Mbappe?
Yeah.
Will he?
In his pocket, mate. In his
All
pocket.
right. No, yeah. Talking about France, Benzema is back. How will it affect? France. Because this is the first time they have a proper goal-scoring striker up front, isn't it? I mean, they went through the last World Cup without a.
But you need to see, you have to take that words back.
What?
Shyam, they have got Olivier Giroud.
Yeah,
Top class
Giroud is
player.
how old is he
He
now?
will play.
Please.
Mbappe.
The Chelsea man's going to stick up for his Chelsea boys.
He's a good player.
He was a good player.
He hasn't scored a single goal in the last World Cup, but still they won the World Cup.
Yeah, because
His presence
It's
makes
good luck
his
charm.
Presence
He
makes
is a
a
good
difference, you know.
He's
So-
their lucky charm.
And
you think he'll make the
He scored
11?
one of the most important goals
Yeah.
for Chelsea in the Champions League.
he has scored so many goals for France. He's the second most goal
Highest,
scorer
yeah.
highest goal
Just
scorer
after.
for France. Just behind
Henry.
5 goals or something
Yeah.
behind Henry. He scored 2 the other night. as
Yeah,
well.
but I would any day put Benzema ahead of Giroud. Seriously.
Yeah.
Of course,
Definitely,
technicality,
but-
everything.
Let's not write Giroud off. This guy is a good player.
Yeah.
France was so strong before they announced Benzema into the squad. He was a late addition.
Yeah.
You put him into that team as well now, so absolutely, I mean, they can go all the way.
And I think we with that we'll wrap up today. And please follow us for a daily or the next day match report or review video chats on this and gulfnews.com on Facebook, on Instagram. Thank you very much.
Come on, England!
N'Golo!